No one expected it to become this big of a moment. It started quietly, almost like one of those behind-the-scenes details that usually never leave the walls of a hotel lobby. The kind of thing that staff might notice, smile about, and move on. But this wasn't just anyone. This was BTS preparing for a massive concert in the United States, where every move, every glance, every small decision can turn into something fans analyze for days. And somehow, out of all the chaos, rehearsals, jet lag, and pressure, one simple request from Jimin changed the entire mood. He wanted to share a room. Not just with anyone, but specifically with Jungkook. At first glance, it might seem like nothing. Friends sharing a room before a big event? Completely normal, right? But here's the thing. When it comes to BTS, nothing is ever just normal. Every interaction carries meaning, history, and a kind of emotional weight that fans instantly pick up on. So, why did this moment hit differently? Think about where they were. The US tour environment is intense. New time zones, packed schedules, constant rehearsals, interviews, camera flashes, and expectations that feel almost impossible to meet. In situations like that, artists often retreat into solitude. They take their own rooms, their own space, trying to recharge in silence. But Jimin chose the opposite. Why? Was it comfort, habit, or something deeper that even fans are still trying to fully understand? People who have followed BTS for years know that the bond between Jimin and Jungkook isn't something that can be easily explained in a single sentence. It's layered, it's evolved, and it's been visible through countless moments, some loud and playful, others quiet and almost invisible unless you're really paying attention. There's something about the way Jimin looks at Jungkook during stressful times. Something about how Jungkook seems to relax when Jimin is nearby. It's subtle, but it's there. And in the middle of a high-pressure US concert schedule, that subtle connection suddenly became very, very visible. Imagine the scene for a second. The group arrives at the hotel after a long flight. Staff are organizing keys, security is tight, schedules are being reviewed. Everyone is tired, maybe a little overwhelmed, maybe trying not to show it. Then comes the room arrangement. Names get assigned, floors get divided. Everything is planned, and then Jimin speaks up. He wants to stay with Jungkook, not as a joke, not as a passing comment, but as a real request. You can almost feel the shift in the room. Did the staff hesitate? Did the members react? Did Jungkook look surprised? Or was this something he expected? We don't get a full transcript of that moment, but the impact speaks louder than any recorded conversation. Because once this detail made its way out into the world, fans didn't just react, they exploded. Social media lit up instantly. Did you hear about this? Is it true? Why does this feel so important? And maybe the better question is, why does it feel so personal? Because this isn't just about sharing a room. It's about what that choice represents. In a world where privacy is rare and personal space is often the only escape, choosing to share that space says something. It suggests trust. It suggests comfort. It suggests that, out of everyone in that environment, there's one person you feel safest with when everything else gets overwhelming. And that's where the analysis begins. Was Jimin seeking emotional support before the concert? Or was it simply about maintaining a sense of normalcy in a very abnormal situation? Let's not forget, these two have grown up together in the spotlight. They've trained, struggled, succeeded, and faced criticism side by side. That kind of shared experience creates a bond that doesn't need to be explained out loud. But still, why now? Why in the US, right before a major performance? Some fans believe it's because international stages bring a different kind of pressure. The expectations are higher, the scrutiny is sharper, and the distance from home can make everything feel just a little more intense. In moments like that, people naturally gravitate toward what feels familiar. And maybe, for Jimin, that familiarity is Jungkook. But here's another angle to consider. What if this wasn't about stress at all? What if it was about joy? About choosing to spend time with someone who makes you laugh, who understands your rhythm, who doesn't require explanations? Because if you look at their dynamic over the years, it's not always heavy or emotional. A lot of it is playful. teasing, comfortable in a way that feels almost effortless. So could this have been a simple decision driven by that comfort? Or is it impossible to separate simplicity from meaning when it comes to BTS? Fans, of course, have their own interpretations. Some see it as a continuation of a long-standing dynamic. Others see it as a rare glimpse into something deeper that isn't always visible on stage or in official content. And then there are those who just appreciate the moment for what it is. A reminder that even global superstars need connection. Because at the end of the day, behind the lights, the choreography, and the perfectly timed performances, these are still human beings navigating intense experiences together. And sometimes, the smallest choices reveal the biggest truths. What makes this moment even more fascinating is how quickly it spread. One detail, one decision, and suddenly it becomes a global conversation. Why do we care so much? Is it because we're searching for authenticity in an industry that often feels curated? Is it because moments like this feel unscripted, real, and therefore more meaningful? Or is it because we've watched their journey for so long that even the smallest interaction feels like a continuation of a story we're emotionally invested in? There's no single answer, but there is one undeniable fact. This moment resonated. It reminded fans of late-night conversations, shared struggles, inside jokes, and the kind of bond that doesn't need constant explanation. And maybe that's why it feels so powerful. Because it's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet. And sometimes, quiet moments are the ones that stay with us the longest. Think about it. How many grand gestures do we forget over time? And how many small, genuine moments do we hold on to? This feels like one of those moments. The kind that doesn't need a stage. The kind that doesn't need a spotlight. Just a simple choice. A shared space. And a connection that fans can feel, even from thousands of miles away. As the concert approached, the energy in the US continued to build. Fans lined up, excitement reached its peak, and anticipation filled the air. But somewhere behind the scenes, away from the noise, two members were likely sharing a space that felt a little more grounded, a little more real. Did they talk late into the night? Did they rehearse together? Or did they just sit in comfortable silence, recharging in their own way? We may never know. And maybe that's part of what makes it so compelling. Not everything needs to be seen to be felt. Not every moment needs to be explained to be understood. Sometimes, it's enough to know that it happened, and that it meant something. So what do you think? Was this just a simple decision between friends? Or does it reveal something deeper about the bond between Jimin and Jungkook? Does it change the way you see their dynamic? Or does it simply confirm what you've believed all along? One thing is certain. Moments like this are why fans stay so connected. Not just to the music, but to the people behind it. Because in the end, it's not just about performances. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about choosing who you want beside you when everything else feels overwhelming. And that choice, simple as it may seem, can speak louder than anything else. If this moment made you feel something, even just a little, then you're not alone. So drop your thoughts, share your perspective, and let's talk about it. Because sometimes, the smallest stories are the ones worth discussing the most.